So here we got TLRY, the TLRY 1 year daily candle chart. So the first thing I see is a clear downtrend with the tendency to break out when it breaks the 50 SMA, which it's done twice this year. Briefly in June 2021, it broke it around $18 and went all the way to $23. And then again in November 2021, where it broke it around $11.50 and ran to 14. Failed to break the 50 SMA last test, but here we are breaking it on heavy volume yesterday. And it's also worth noting it has broken out on 115 million in volume that day, 70 million that day, 107 million this day, 110 million yesterday. So very similar volume days where it's broken out and came right back down. But this one's a little different because the catalyst is the House is gonna vote. Let's see, the House floor vote next week on marijuana legalization, the federal law. So that's a big catalyst, and they're pushing all the weed stocks up, and it has the tendency to run as we look back at the 5-year chart to get a real broad feel. So this actually spiked from $20 to almost $300 briefly, came all the way back down, set a low at $250, pushed all the way back to $65, and here we are reversing off around $478, the 52-week low. So let's go back to the 1 year. That's a little too far out, but it's also worth noting this pattern. So it failed on this line over here, failed again over here, again here, and it looks like we're breaking out of it. So that's a real long-term pattern. But the 1 year chart, I want to go over some of the reasons. Well, first of all, when we're looking at these charts, there's no split in the history of TLRY, so that's an organic chart. It's not reverse split adjusted or anything. Those $300 prices we just saw. So let's go over some of the dilution. On July 22nd, there was 450 million shares. So July 22nd, that's right here. There's 450 million shares. Next 10Q, 460 million shares, October 4th. That's right here. So 450, 460, there's 10 million extra shares. That's not too much, 2% dilution over the quarter. Still some dilution though. Next quarter, January 4th, only 466. So it goes 450, 460, 466. That's only about 1.5% dilution over that quarter. But here's what's kind of interesting. They have a 42B. They actually filed all the way back in September 11th, 2019, but they've supplemented it, dated March 3rd, 2022, and this gives us a real close-up feel for how many shares they're going to have. So it says right here, February 17th, they have 480,700,000 shares. So that's kind of interesting because from January 4th, where they have 466, they have 480 in February 17th. So there's 14 million shares of dilution in less than a quarter. We're talking from here to here. So there's been a lot of dilution taking place. And I'll tell you why. It's this 595 range, and it shows you because it says someone has shares at $11.90 per share. Someone has them at $11.20 per share. So we'll take note of these price points at the support and resistance levels we'll go over next. But also someone has shares at 595 million shares. So I believe outstanding warrants, So I think those have been getting diluted around that price. Those are pretty much the only ones in range. So this has 480 million shares, and check this out. Common stock to be outstanding immediately after this offering. There's going to be 550 million shares. So if there's 480 million shares and there's 550 after it, there's still 70 more million shares of dilution coming, which is, what is that? Not quite 20%, but maybe with 15 15-17% dilution is coming compared to the outstanding share count. So let's go. And I also wanted to show you guys this. So before y'all, the Reddit crowd and everything says it's going back to $300 because it's been there, saying, oh look, it can go right back. Let's look at a 10Q or 10K from 2018. So in November 14, 2018, they had 16.6 million shares. So this had under 20 million shares when it made this initial move. Now it has 480, soon to be 550. So let's go look at some of their fundamentals real quick. It's kind of interesting. I went to the 10K so we could get a broad view and not look at quarters and look at years. The revenue for 2019, 67 million. 2020, 153 million. 2021, 264 million. So you think, wow, revenue is going up every year. But then you come out down here and you look at their actual net loss. And you see 2019, they lost 36 million. 2020, they lost 100 million. And in 2021, they lost $336 million. So their revenue is growing, but they're losing more money. That's not how business is supposed to work. So also, so we know they're going to have 550 million shares, currently 480 million shares on the last date we see on the filings. But as of November 3rd, 2021, they had $375 million. So they have less than $1 million in cash. They do have a lot of inventory. So let's go through some of the option chains. I think I got that on the 180 day. Yep. So I have the most outstanding. Let's see the stocks. I'm looking at the March 25th, the ones that expire tomorrow on Friday. The heaviest open interests are going to be the $6.50 calls, the $6 calls, and the $7.50 calls. I don't think, I have a feeling they might just sneak it right under $6.50 in today, or at least under this $7.50, and not pay those ones out. The puts, $5.50, $4.50, $4, but significantly less open interest on the puts. So I have these top three of the puts and the heaviest top three of the calls on this chart. So those are the puts, and those are the calls. So it looks like they're screwing the puts. A lot of them have probably already taken their losses. But now I feel like they're going to sell as many calls as they can and shake them. So I have a feeling this goes back down to the 650. So let's look at the 5-day chart and look at this move it made. Mostly in the last hour in the bell, and then after hours on a significantly less volume. See the volume difference in after hours compared to this last hour. And it's also worth noting it closed around 695. 690 or so. Probably squeezed out shorts on the 650 break, but that heavy call option 650. So when we look at this 14-day chart, I see two uptrends. This one where we see the bottom here, and then the resistance here, and the support again here, as well as this uptrend. So what's interesting to me is it closed around 695, breaking this top, squeezing the shorts that caught this spot right here and didn't cover. But I wonder if while with time this line increases, this uptrend increases, I wonder if we come right back to it underneath this 650, killing the 650 calls by tomorrow. That's my prediction. But let's look at the resistance levels. So 200-day chart I have them at. So I'm going to start off with 850. 850 is the first one. 950. Then 1050. It's going to be very heavy here from all this action. But if we can break the 1050, this is where I think we're going to top out at. It's going to be 1126. I'm not 26, but 1125. and that's where those warrants are at 1120. So 1120, 1125. It's support. It's going to be resistance on the chart at 1125-ish. 1120 warrants. So that's where I don't think we're breaking above long, even if it pushes for a couple days. Next will be 1225. But along the way, we got those warrants at 1190. But there's going to be resistance at 1225. Then 1325. From over down here, this candle, this wick, these wicks, this candle, these candles, as well as the action over here where it got rejected at. The next one's going to be 14. You can see it's the top of this wick, as well as these candles up here, and the bottom of these candles where it was acting as support. So above 14, we got 1475, then 16, then 1680, then 18, and that's as high as I'm going to go. It's a 100% move from 9. So 850, 950, 1025, 1125 with the 1120 warrants. Then there's warrants at 1190, then 1225 resistance, 1325, 14, 1475, 16, 1680, then 18. So support levels on the bottom, I'm going to go with, let's see, 8 is going to be the one. We got to look at the 5-day to get the feel for the initial ones. No, I got on the 10-day actually. So 8's going to be a psychological level. It's going to be this little bull flag it started. But I don't think we're going to hold that. So it'll be 750, 715, 650, 6, and 550. And actually it's showing better on the 200-day. So there's the 650, the 6, the 550, the 5, maybe like 505, and then underneath that it's going to be the 52-week low where we bounced off of when we look back at that 3-year, which is going to be 478. That's 52-week low. With the profitable pig picks, you'll be getting access to the Discord and real-time SMS alerts that detail the particular ticker, a clear buying range, defined risk, and 2 price targets with a good risk to reward ratio, and a brief explanation of what type of play it is. On the Discord, I'll be going over real-time, play-by-play, the situation as it changes. As we all know, trading is dynamic.